morning, children. How are you? I hope all are fine now. Not roaming outside, sitting at home itself. Or your parents are behind you to make you to stay back at home. And you are going to play cricket on roads and parks. Not now. You are all good children staying back at home. Isn't it? Okay. So after a long time, we are meeting. Right? How was the class that you have received yesterday? You received a mathematics online class as well as the science class. Could you understand that? I hope it was easy to follow, no? Without any strain, whenever you want, you can watch it. That's why we are sending you the recorded version. If it is a live class, you have to sit in front of your computer or mobile for a long time, or should be sitting like how you sit in the school, only listening to our words. But in this case, that's not necessary. No? Freely you can lay down, you can sit, or you can walk and can listen the video. Is it not? Yeah. That is why to reduce your strain, we are sending this recorded version of the class. I hope that will help you a lot, because I don't want to give you much strain even at this lockdown time. Okay? So no worries. Don't worry about the corona or COVID. Okay? Be safe at home. Have a plenty of water. Okay? Yeah. Now I'm here to handle you English class. Can we start? Yeah. Before that, you open your English textbook. Taken? Yeah. First, let us go through the content. Open the content page. Okay. Now let us see what is there for you in reserve for this year. You see, there are 8 lessons under the prose. And again 8 poems. Then in addition to that, there are 3 supplementary lessons. Till now you didn't study any supplementary English. Here, from 8th standard onwards, you are going to study supplementary reading. That is, you know, English 1, English 2 we see. In ICSE schools and all, you know that, no? Yeah. So, supplementary reading is a part of English literature, where you are not going to study any grammar in that. But you come across certain moral stories where you have to focus on that moral and you have to develop your creativity of writing the stories. That is what the supplementary stories. So you have 3 lessons as supplementary reading this year. So here starts your second part of English literature. So children, let us start. Yeah. So in your textbook, the first prose lesson is the heavenly parasol. But I don't want to do it at first. Okay? I don't know why. Because always I prefer to start from the second lesson. That is the boy who sold wisdom. So we are all wise, no? We are all brilliant, clever. So we will start with this lesson. The first lesson is about gods and the fantasy stories, which we have to imagine. The second lesson is what we are, how we show our cleverness, and how we become fools in front of others. That is the second lesson. So we will start with the second lesson. Okay? That is the boy who sold wisdom. So it's in page number 11. Please open the textbook, page number 11. Opened? Okay. So let us see what is it. Prose 2. The boy who sold wisdom. You know wisdom. What is wisdom? Cleverness, intelligence. That is what we call a wisdom. Wise people. The people who can think cleverly, take immediate actions, opinions. They are called what? Decisions. They are called what? Wise people. So, this story is about a boy who was very, very wise in his decisions, actions, like you people. I know you are all wise. My kids are very wise, I know. So, this is the story of a boy like you. So, let us see. So, here you have a pre-reading task. Okay, I don't want to read it. This is the story about a person called Birbal. You know Akbar and Birbal. You might be studied or read the Chitrakathas, that is short stories of Birbal and Akbar, no? Yeah, you know Panchachandra Kathas, stories. There and all you might come across the Birbal and Akbar stories. So, I don't want to repeat that again. You can just go through that after this lesson, okay? So, now let us come directly to our lesson. You can see the paragraph number 1. Nagendra was orphaned and found himself without a job. He was clever and he had learned many things by observing his father. One day, he had a brilliant idea. He went into the town and hired the smallest and cheapest place he could find and set up a shop. He spent a few nickel coins he had on paper, ink and a pen. Over his shop, he put a placard that said, "Wisdom for sale." All around him were merchants who had large shops. They sold clothes, jewelry, fruits, vegetables and things that people bought every day. Nagendra called out, "All kinds of wisdom for sale, reasonable prices." The people who had come to buy things could not see anything in his shop, but could only hear the words he was shouting. They crowded around and laughed at him. No one bought even one piece of wisdom from him, but he was patient. So let us see what it is. Did you understand anything? Little bit, no? Yeah. Let us see from the beginning. Nagendra was orphaned and found himself without a job. So, we could understand that. This is the story about the boy named Nagendra. So, who was he? He was an orphan boy. Who was an orphan? Who lost their parents. So, he was an orphan boy and found himself without a job. And after the loss of his parents, he was suffering a lot without having any job or any wealth at his house. He was clever and he had learned many things by observing his father. But what was his wealth? His wealth was his cleverness. He was very, very clever. And he learned many things by observing his father. His father was a clever person. So, he used to, when he was a child, he used to observe his father's decision taking or responses to others. All he was observing and he became an addict of that. One day, he had a brilliant idea. So, normally an orphan child means will be very disappointed. what to do, how will I lead my life. All that thoughts will come to his mind, is it not? Even whenever we have any problem in our houses, any financial problem, when we face, we get disappointed. Oh, how I could make that? How I will manage? How can I pay the fees for the next month? Or how will I get a gift for my birthday, next birthday? My parents are not having money enough. Like that, we will be worried. But being an orphan and a clever boy, this Nagendra was thinking about his life, what to do, how can I achieve, how can I sustain myself. So, one day he had a brilliant idea. As he was very clever, he got an idea. What was the idea? He went to the town. So, straight away he went to the town and hired the smallest and cheapest place he could find and set up a shop. In the town, why we are going to the town? We go with our parents or our relatives or somebody to roam in the town to purchase certain things which give us pleasure. But this boy went to the town for what? To find out the cheapest place, to set up a shop, to find out his livelihood. That was the aim of his journey to the town. So he left to the town. He spent a few nickel coins he had. So after going to the town, he found a place, the cheapest place where he could set up a shop. After that, what he did? He had little coins with him. What he did with that coins? He spent the coins for what? On paper, ink and a pen. What he did with that money? He bought a piece of paper, a pen and ink. It was very less money with him. There was not much to take. So he purchased some paper, one pen and little ink. Then what he did? Over his shop, he put up a placard that said, "Wisdom for sale." So what he did? He bought paper, ink and pen and he prepared a placard. You know placards, no? Yeah, we make placards, a board with some sayings, quotes and one stick. You know that, placards. No? Yeah. So he made a placard like that and he put it on his shop. Okay. What was written on the placard? Wisdom for sale. Wisdom, intelligence for sale. Can we say? Can you put wisdom for sale? Yeah, he has written that wisdom for sale. So let us see how he is going to sell his wisdom. All around him were merchants who had large shops. So he was in a corner with a small tent shop with a placard on it. But around him, what was there? Big shops were there. Big shops. The merchandise centers were there. Okay. And they sold clothes, jewelry, fruits, vegetables and things that people bought every day. What was they selling? They were selling jewelry, clothes, textile shops were there, fruit shops were there, vegetables and stationery shops, all the routine things, whatever the people buy from shops. All sorts of shops were there in the surroundings. Nagendra called out. Called out means shouted. Called out, shouted. Underline it, right? Shouted. Yeah. All kinds of wisdom for sale, reasonable prices. When you go to market and all, you can see that the vendors, they shout. You might be seeing, no? Shouting, apple, 100 rupees kg. You might be seeing, no, orange, only 80 rupee per kg. They will attract us by shouting. And they say that it is very good quality and you taste and see it is very sweety. Like that and all they say. No? Like that. Even this boy, to attract the people in the market, he was shouting much. All kinds of wisdom for sale. Reasonable price. In cheap cost. Reasonable cost. I sell all sorts of wisdom here. The people who had come to buy things could not see anything in his shop. So by hearing this voice, all the people who visited the market to purchase the things from the other shops crowded around him. But when they look inside the shop, there was nothing. Only this boy was there. They couldn't find anything in this shop, but could only hear the words he was shouting. So what could they see? They could see or hear only the shouting words of this boy. They crowded around and laughed at him. No one bought even one piece of wisdom from him, but he was patient. So nobody bought a wisdom because they couldn't see any wisdom in the shop. They couldn't realize what is wisdom therefore selling. So they didn't purchase anything. They all laughed at him and went away from there. But he had sufficient patience. He was a clever boy, so he didn't get disappointed. So now what happened? Let us see the next paragraph. So normally, so first day spent like that, second day came, third day came, but nobody purchased anything from him. So days were passing by. One day what happens here? One day, Babu, a rich merchant's son, happened to pass by and heard the wisdom seller hawking his wares. Wisdom, wisdom of all kinds. He was a stupid boy. He didn't know what was really being sold, and he thought it was a vegetable or a thing he could hold in his hand. So he asked Nagendra what it would cost per kg. Nagendra said, I do not sell wisdom by weight. I sell it by quality. So, what was this? Let us see. One day, Babu, a rich merchant's son, happened to pass by and heard the wisdom seller hawking his voice. So, hawking means shouting. Underline and write. Shouting. Hawking. Hawker. You know the word now? Yeah. Hawking. Shouting. So, one day a merchant's son passed by that way. And actually that boy was a foolish person. He was not so clever. By hearing the voice that here all sorts of wisdom is in sale with a cheap rate, he visited that shop. Wisdom of all kinds. What this Nagendra was shouting, here wisdoms are available. All sorts of wisdom is being sold here. You will get in cheap rate. So he was a stupid boy. The boy who visited there, named Babu. He was a foolish boy, stupid boy. And he didn't know what was really being sold. He came to the shop and looked inside. He couldn't find anything. So he didn't understand what is going to be sold. But what he did, he thought it was a vegetable or a thing he could hold in his hand. But he thought wisdom means that is something like a vegetable or something, some physical thing that I can carry in my hand. So what he did, so he asked Nagendra what it would cost per kg. So normally when we go to purchase something, we should ask what is the cost of that. So the shopkeeper, what he says, per kg 200 rupees or 150 rupees. So in that way this boy asked Nagendra what is the cost of that wisdom per kg, because he thought it is kilogram wise it is being sold. Okay, so Nagendra said, I do not sell wisdom by weight, I sell it by quality. So what was the reply of Nagendra? No, I never sell wisdom by weight. I sell it by quality. It should be weighed by its quality. Understood, children? Yeah. Second paragraph. Now let us see to the third. Babu put down a nickel and asked Nagendra to give him a nickel's worth of wisdom. The boy took out a piece of paper and write on it. It is not wise to stand and watch two people fighting. And he asked Babu to keep it tied in his turban clothes. So what was that? Let us see. Babu put down a nickel. Put down means what? Taken out. So he has taken out a nickel coin and asked Nagendra to give him a nickel's worth of wisdom. So he took out a coin and gave it to Nagendra. And what he asked her? Give me this nickel coin's worth of wisdom. Then the boy took out a piece of paper and wrote on it. So immediately Nagendra, what he did? He took out a piece of paper and he started writing on it. What he has written? It is not wise to stand and watch two people fighting. What he has written? Yeah, you should not stand and watch when you see two people are fighting with each other. Then Nagendra said, I did not sell this. Sorry. And he asked Babu to keep it tied in his turban cloth. Underline the word turban. You know turban, no? Normally with clothes around the head, we make a cap like structure that is to cover our forehead and head. That is turban. What you will say in Kannada, peta. I think peta. Okay, that thing. Okay, so that is what a turban. Normally we bind here, no, around our head with a cloth. So, what Nagendra asked him, keep this piece of paper or this wisdom safely in your turban. So, Babu did like that. He kept safely that piece of paper in his turban. Okay? Yeah. Next, Babu went home and showed his father what he had bought. So, Babu was very happy with a coin of money. He got wisdom and safely he kept it. He was very happy as he is very foolish. He went with very proud to his house and he told his father. What he told her? He said, I bought some wisdom for a nickel and I have it here, tied up inside this turban clothes with much pride. What he told her? See, I spent only one nickel and I got some wisdom. I bought it safely tied in my turban. You see this? Then the father untied the knot and looked at the scrap of paper and read what was written on it. It's not wise to stand and watch two people fighting. So, father was not foolish like this boy. So, immediately what he did, he unknotted the turban, he untied loosened the turban and he took the paper and read what was written on the paper. What was written on the paper? It is not wise to stand and watch two people fighting. That was the message in that. Now let us see what happens. Next paragraph. He was furious. So by seeing this piece of paper with an advice, he became furious. Furious means angry. Underline and write. Furious, angry. He screamed at his son. Screaming, you normally scream at school. Now with the others. Screaming means what? Shouting in anger. He screamed at his son, you fool! Paying a nickel for this nonsense. Hey, you don't have common sense. You have spent one nickel to get a piece of paper like this. What a nonsense. Then everyone knows you should not stand and watch two people fighting. Only you don't know. All the people know that we should not stand and watch when others are fighting. For that you spend one nickel coin. Then he went to the marketplace and stormed into Nagendra's shop and scolded him soundly. Then what he did? He first scolded his son for getting this piece of message what everyone knows by spending money. Then what he did? He ran to Nagendra's shop in the market and he rushed in his shop. You scoundrel! You have cheated my son. He is a fool and you are a cheat. So as soon as he entered the shop, he shouted, what? You have cheated my son, knowing that he is a fool. So you are a cheater. Then, return the nickel or else I will call the police. Then he started threatening the boy, Nagendra, by saying that you return me that nickel or else I will call the police and complain to the police. Then Nagendra said, but Nagendra didn't get angry. He was a very clever boy. So what he replied, If you don't want my goods, you can return it. Give me back my wisdom and you can have your money back. So what this boy told her? Calmly Nagendra told her, if you don't want my wisdom, my goods, what is the goods here? Wisdom. You return it and take your money back. No problem, I'll return your money. Then Gupta the merchant. So Gupta is the name of Babu's father. Threw the scrap of paper at the boy and said, so immediately what this person did, he had a piece of paper written with this message. So he took that paper and thrown to Nagendra. And then, there, now give me back my money. Here, you are good, take it and get me back your money. Then Nagendra said, no, you haven't given me back my wisdom. You have only returned the paper. So what Nagendra told her, no, I won't agree. I have given your son wisdom. But you are returning me this paper, not the wisdom. So I am not able to return your money. You give me back the wisdom, I will give you the money. You will have to sign a document if you want your money back. Or else, if you want to get your money back, you have to sign and give me an agreement. What is the agreement? Saying that your son will never use my advice and that he will always stand and watch people fighting. So what Nagendra asked her? See, if you want to get your money back, what you should do? You should sign and give me an agreement. What is that agreement? That your son is not going to follow my advice. That is, in future, your son should stand wherever people are fighting and watch it. Can you write and give me that in an agreement? If you can do that, I will return your money. How is it? He's clever or not? Because he has given an advice to the boy not to stand and watch when people are fighting. It is harmful to us. No, if there is any dangerous situation, we will be trapped in that. So when he asked back the money, the boy was telling, yes, if you want to get the money back, you should give me an agreement stating that always your son will stand and watch whenever the people are fighting. Is it possible? You know the danger in that, no? So that is the cleverness shown by this Nagendra. Is he really clever, wise? What do you feel? He is really clever, no? Yeah. So this is what one of the incidents that is given in your textbook. And one more small paragraph I will tell you. Okay? The passers-by supported Nagendra. So the people who were crowded there, they all told, yeah, what the boy is telling is true. If you want to get the money back, your son should do like this. That was the wisdom given. Then, so Gupta readily signed the document and took his money. So there was no other go. He was very miserly person. He has to get his money back. So he signed an agreement and given that. What was the agreement? He was happy that it had not been easy to undo his son's foolish bargain. After signing that agreement, Gupta was very happy. He thought, okay, whatever money my son wasted, I got it back now. Okay, everything is settled. And what he has signed actually, that my son will stand and watch whenever the people are fighting. Without thinking the consequences, he has signed. Sometimes we will do like that, no? Your friend will ask you to do some harmful things. You never think about its consequences. What will happen if I do like that? You will blindly follow that. No? Yeah, that is what happened here. Got it? Got it, children? Okay. So, I think this is enough for you now. Yeah. So, go through the textbook once again, slowly. Try to understand that. And if you are not understanding the meaning of any word in this, okay, contact me. I'll explain to you. Okay? Good children. Thank you. Bye.